and so buying other things. But for Fia, she's so diligent in her, like focus in her saving. Even when she went on to school in New Zealand, she used to do odd jobs for the teachers' quarters out there in the property of the school. And she'll be saying, Mom, I'm sending this money across. I said, oh, where did you get your money? No, I washed the car for my teacher. And she'll be doing car wash or cleaning up the quarters for her teachers, making money and still sending her money across to be deposited. Like looking back, she bought her car when she was only 20, on her 21st birthday, she bought a $37,000 car. All her saving throughout the year. And then she said, okay, if I buy my car, I will have no more money in my account. Well, that is the reason, the result and the reason why we save. And when she moved on to England, I look at her and I said, look, you've done that, done this, done that. And when you go, remember, don't wait for you to get a job. You write in your list that you can buy a house. And she looked at me, she said, okay, to buy a property, I'm just going there now for the first time. Like to go and stay. And I said, it can happen. Well, 2 years into her marriage, not having a job yet in Europe or in England where they were residing, they managed to buy a house. So when you're already, a kid in your mind that you want to achieve something and you already write it down, it doesn't really matter the resources and everything come to you, but when and as it does, you'll just have that wisdom to be able to manage that funds well. And I used to read, my son-in-law's account of everything that is happening. And every time, he comes on our family comes, and he will be saying, all these years, 13 years I worked here as a British Army. I earn well. And, like he went on to be a sergeant. I mean, he has a position that earn good money. And then he said, and then I go to Afghanistan, I go to Iraq, and all these allowances that I get. And now looking back, for that 13 years of being here, there's no manifestation of the things that I was earning. I didn't buy a house. I have my car, but I didn't even think to go that way. But even though I have the money and I have the resources, that I could have done that. And and since being married now for 2 years, we managed to buy this property. And I want to share that back with you today. When you are listening in today, you may have all the money and all the finances with you, and sometimes life is good, and you say to yourself, no, I don't really need it. I've got my parents, and I'm living in my parents' house, and maybe there's about 5 of you siblings, and as a man, if something happened, then who owns the house? And moving forward, where do you go? What do you do? And those are the things that you need to plan now. We don't want to talk about these things, but I believe that we should, because you only can plan when you talk about these things. Our parents are aging. One time they will go. Start talking to them. How would you like, when that happens? Sometimes it's good to talk about it. Like for me, I talk about that. Even when my children were still in primary, high school, now they're married, I'm still saying it. I'm still telling them. They said, look, when I die, I don't want this thing. I don't want any ring and all this kind of thing. Everybody wear white, come eat sandwich, I'm going, bye. And sometimes they don't want to hear it. But and I said, I want that for my life. I want to talk about that life. Because one day, that's reality. It's going to happen. And we don't want to talk about it. But we need to talk about it. Instead, I don't want to be going, and then, you people raking your brains, how I'm going to be paying for this and that and that and that. No. And I told them, I've already saved. I put some money aside for me when I die. The cost of my casket or everything about myself, I planned it for myself. So when I die, you don't have to, really fret. And I just give you the card when I am going to die. And I said, okay, when something happens, take this, and then will finance me. And I'm planning my death, and I'm planning. It sounds weird, and we say, okay, she's crazy. Yeah, I can be crazy. But I want to share that with you today. Dona accounts and dona kami kita to tika busoli memory kina dona kana ya de na kita me ado mena singa na ado kina e tika dona labo meroni garabi kina na non rosongo se meron garabi kina raw me ka kuni dona kaya do ka o singa dona no gala konge vidi bona mani lendo go vidi vike na sanga vidi vie kina non sanga me na ka na songo bir na non ditum. Look, if you really love your parents and you know that they're aging, plan something now and put aside something. Same way. If you really love your children, put something aside and save for your children. Put something aside and say to yourself, tell your children, okay, when you grow up. And that's the kind of talk we have at home.